YouVersion app, Amplified Bible Classic Edition, AMPC, New Testament Matthew 20, reading notes, summary of Matthew 20. Matthew 20 verses 1 through 16. Jesus talked about the parable of an owner of a huge property and had a vineyard and hired people in the morning and gave them just 1 denarius. He then, at the end of the day, gave the same amount and didn't work as long at all as the people in the morning that worked all day. He was questioned of what the owner of the huge property of this was just and fair. The owner said, I have a right to pay how I want to pay, and you agreed to the earnings, and you need to accept this. Jesus said, the first will be last, and the last will be first, meaning when you decide to make covenant, promise to God in Jesus' name, one must not look at anyone that makes this covenant, promise to God in Jesus' name. Anytime they do, but accept that a person made covenant, promise to God in Jesus' name, in a person's last breath, will be first. Meaning, whenever you decide to make covenant, promise to God in Jesus' name, one must not look at anyone and make covenant, promise to God in Jesus' name, anytime they do, but accept the person made covenant, promise to God in Jesus' name, in a person's last breath, and get a reward of heaven. Do not be jealous or murmur and complain, but rejoice and thank God He found favor in you in every hour, and thank God you have been faithful as long as you have. Don't allow leaven, sin, to enter your heart, because it is a curse. Jesus said, many are called, but few are chosen. Matthew 20, verses 17 through 19. Jesus then said Jesus was going to be taken and beaten, crucified in 3 days. Matthew 20 verses 20 through 28. The mother of Zebedee children came up, and Jesus kneeled and worshipped and asked for favor in Jesus. The mother of Zebedee asked Jesus to have the children to sit at the right and the left of Jesus in heaven. Jesus replied, you do not know what you ask. The cup they will drink on earth, and God, his Father, determines this, not him. The disciples were concerned about this request from mother of Zebedee. Jesus said, to be a leader, you must be a servant. To be first, you must be a slave. Jesus said he came not to be waited on, but to serve. And Jesus' life is a ransom for all have the opportunity to set free in the covenant. Promise to God in Jesus' name. Matthew 20, 29 through 34. A crowd followed Jesus, 2 blind men, and the men asked Jesus to have pity on them. Jesus said, what do you want? They said, healed of blindness, and Jesus healed them. And they followed him, covenant, promise to God in Jesus' name.